Welcome back to Chai Chat with Lavina. Something quite serious we are discussing about cross-border terrorism. What is the role that region can play? What is the role that international community can play? And not playing or playing. So should I start with you, Fatima, and ask you, everyone, Bhamra Sahab said, everyone is looking after themselves and not thinking of region as a community.
That's exactly what it shouldn't happen. You know, since it's a regional issue and even becoming a global issue now, it requires a regional solution. As I mentioned, intelligence sharing is one very important, absolutely necessarily, step in cracking down on terrorist groups. And just as I mentioned before, just think of the, more dangerous ideologies that can, come out of some, a group that you don't care about. You say, oh, well, it's not my issue, it's beyond my border. But it eventually can come back.
No, it is everyone's issue now, and I think Europe as well as the West now realizes that it is everyone's issue. But when you say intelligence sharing, that happens between that the basis of that is trust. We can't expect that from India, Pakistan, China, Iran. Nobody trusts each other.
Yeah, I know, but you can't wait. I mean, there will never be a ideal timing for that. I think they get together eventually, as our good friend mentioned. Sometimes, they sign security agreements, they, plan to share intelligence, but they eventually, put it aside and then they don't do it. And that's the result, what's going on, that, it's really going out of control.
Bashir, I would like you to think about incidents maybe that you have covered which might open our eyes, while I ask Barbara Saab to say, how do you think regional powers can work together? Is it possible at all? I don't see a possibility. What is?
Ravina, I don't think it is possible. It's a very huge problem which got to be solved by the Almighty.
Or that, ये भगवान के ऊपर छोड़ दिया तो कुछ गड़बड़ हो
Or
जाएगा.
we have to bring another Mahatma Gandhi.
Do you agree? Are you as pessimistic after having covered cross?
There is no selfless person better than Mahatma Gandhi.
No, I mean the problem is that if you see the region, like who is benefiting from the war, if you go after that, I think then you can solve it.
So who's actually that's a very good question. We should look at it from the top bottom. किसको फायदा हो रहा है? Who's benefiting from this war?
सबको पता है. Like, what is happening is that in Pakistan, for example, that everybody is blaming them for terrorism. What I'm saying is that there are voices, but they are not as powerful, as he said. They are not as powerful. But what happens that when you see the terrorism, it's not just one party or one person or one movement cannot save it, change it. These policies, you have to have some kind of pressure, international pressure.
Yes, that's what I'm leading to. What is the pressure?
The pressure, I think, as one individual, when he goes to steal something, two things come. One idea is to steal, the other, no, please don't do it. Similarly, there are two voices. One voice is go and hit others and kill them. The other voice of the same person is not to do it. Similarly, there are people, but what is their majority? How strong are they?
No, but we are
Can they face if they are attacked? They are not Gandhis.
Yeah, no, what we are trying to lead onto is that what is it that the international and the regional powers do to break the distrust, to get a leeway, to get an inroad into the region and come together? Is there any way, and is there something that needs to be done which is not happening? It could be America, it could be UK, we can't even talk about it.
For that we have to go to UNO. How successful UNO is up to now, we all know. Can we find a solution for this through UNO? That's the only international body. If you say one state or the other state will do, I don't think that is possible.
So just your last word on, are you optimistic or pessimistic about cross-border terrorism being, and what is the role that region can play, very quickly?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I will sound very, okay, let me tell you what I was going to say. It's like all these infectious diseases that we had throughout the history. You know, remember the time, you don't remember, but we don't remember the time of cholera. You know, that thousands of people died. Also during influenza, millions of people died. Terrorism, and you know, one after the other, and all these dangerous ideologies is one form of similar to those infectious diseases. Eventually there will be some vaccine, something, maybe, you know, providing, giving them opportunity to provide for your family. That would be one option.
Yeah.
Or, you know, or just give them a sense of belonging to the society and make them, provide them with jobs and give them hope. That's
Yes.
another, that would be the vaccine, you know,
To give them hope through making them
Contain.
well off. Do you agree, or do you have something to add?
I mean, you know, you can always give hope to people, but you know, the problem is that, you know, again the question comes that who benefits from war, and therefore, you know, there are states, there are deep states who are keeping their own people poor as and unemployed, because when you are having a policy of waging wars, then you not trying to kill the resources, you are trying to make more resources. So I don't think, you know, it's gonna.
Pessimistic, optimistic? You don't sound optimistic.
No, I'm not.
Having covered the cross borders, you don't think, you think that the
Every day is like, you know, I just yesterday I did a story that a woman, a 70-year-old, her 3 sons were beheaded by the ISIS, and 3 grandsons were killed in front of her. So it's happening every day, and it's not going away. I mean, like.
very enough.
Bashir, how do you have your dinner by the end of the day after covering this?
It's a very. I also put on Twitter that, you know, it was very difficult to edit this video, because it's
oh my God.
yeah, it's not easy. I mean, like, you know, these.
Have you seen, can I quickly, sorry to interrupt you, but have you seen an increase in these kind of incidents or killing of voices?
Yeah,
This is
of course.
So,
I mean, like
so we are
they-
actually in more difficult waters, as I started with saying.
Exactly, yeah, and especially in Afghanistan, for example, the United Nations has a report now, and that they said that the civilian casualties have increased, and that's why. And we know that the security forces are also under a lot of pressure and a lot of attacks. So it's there is no. It doesn't seem any solution for now. I don't know what will happen in future.
Okay, okay, and you agree?
I agree with all this.
You agree that there is, okay, thank you. This is not many times, thank you very much, everybody. Not many times we end up on a very pessimistic note, but I think today we seem to be
I
ending
was
on
optimistic.
yes, yes, you are.
He was the one in between, right?
No, I think he's quite pessimistic, aren't you? You think that the
No,
situation
both of us.
We
you know,
can
I
have-
sounded
we-
more.
We all can hope, but the reality is our heart says something
will
else,
be a
and
very-
fact
it will
facts
be
Know
a
something
the
very
else.
reality,
hard-
that's what it is. Otherwise, there is always we live on hope.
उम्मीद पे दुनिया कायम है, but hope, how far can you stretch? And yes, it's great to say that give people something to lose, and they won't get into and get drifted into a war scenario. But that's not something that's happening on ground, as Bashir tells us. A very heart-wrenching incident of a grandmother whose 3 sons were killed. I cannot imagine. And such situations, such incidents are happening every day across the border, and it is sensitive. And we can feel that sensitivity. As long as we accept it, I hope somewhere, someday, something, we might be able to, on our own, open a thought process, put in pressure, raise our voice. I don't know. Probably you can tell me, and you can write into me. My Twitter handle is @Lavina_Tandon or chaichat@ashtak.com. Thank you, take care, and God bless.